Welcome. Today I'm chatting with Alex Glenn, founder and CEO of Partner Hub. How are you going, Alex?
Going well.
Fantastic. Alex has got a lot of experience in working with partnerships and brings a lot of knowledge around the domain to the table. So, Alex, thank you so much for joining us today. Got a question for you. When you're commencing out your partnership journey, what do you need to say you're open for partnerships as a company?
Yeah, good question. I'd say common misconceptions is very prolific at this stage. Companies think they need a technology suite to manage all those partnerships that they're going to have coming in. They think they need to pay commissions. And what I tell companies is no to both of those. You do not need a robust technology stack to manage partnerships. You do not need to pay commission. And those go hand in hand, right? So if you go down the rabbit hole, I say, of, okay, well, how much commission should we pay and how are we going to, then you snowball into the question of how am I going to manage that commission? And then it becomes, what about internationalization? And what are my competitors paying? And should I pay more or less? It's a slippery slope. And it backs into the technology stack. So if you do go down that road, which is an incorrect road, in my opinion, especially when you're brand new to partnerships, both those questions or both those paths kind of lead to a failure. So back to your question of need, what do I need? I would say you need to be open for partnerships, meaning is your company, your culture, are you open to having other companies involved in sales and marketing? And are you open to sharing business, right? You have to be open to that. It goes both ways. It is reciprocal. You're not, that attractive as a company to just say, I'm going to pay you commission and you're going to go out and push my product all day long. There are those companies that are hot right now. We all know those, but especially in SaaS and agency world, most of us, the 95, 99% even, are new companies, unproven technology, unproven as a relationship. And you have to be willing to say, you know what, I'm going to show you that we are going to be valuable for you. I'm open to it. Work with me on a few things that we both need and can offer. I've got a big newsletter. I've got a blog. I'm really knowledgeable on AI and implementations of OpenAI stuff. That's what I can bring to the table, and get creative with the partner and say, you know what, I may not be able to bring you referrals. Maybe I just don't trust you enough to bring my customer base to you, but I'm open to it. So the need, I'd say bare minimum, all you need to be is a business that is open to partnerships and wanting that as a part of your culture. And a lot of companies will say yes to that, but in practice, their head of sales or their head of blank or their CEO sometimes even doesn't fully understand what it means to have a relationship like that with another business. And they tend to put up a bunch of roadblocks. Let's make them sign a non-compete as an example roadblock that I've seen before. Those kinds of things. That means that they're not partnership centric. And then from there, what helps? A need, quote unquote, probably, could borderline be a need. But what helps is you've got your operations dialed in. You've got your sales process dialed in. And if you're an agency, to be a good partner, you've got to have repeat customers that are buying retainers, ideally. It doesn't have to be. They could just go project to project, but repeat customers is there. Because, to be open to partnerships, that's one thing. But you have to be a good partner. You have to be able to be a good partner. That answer your question?
Yeah, beautiful. So what I'm hearing there is it's got to be a true 50-50 value realization. So you're bringing as much value as you're getting, and you've got to have that collaborative mindset. So you've got to be willing to share information and work with them to make that partnership successful. Beautiful.
Heck yeah.
And following on from that, what are some of the key mistakes you've seen made in partnerships?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm posting a link to our blog if you want to read up on these strategies. But key mistakes. I mentioned one there, throwing a non-compete. I mean, if you're, especially as an agency, if a tech company comes to you and they say, we want to partner with you, we've got this great app that plugs into HubSpot and does all this cool stuff, and we think your clients are going to love it. And maybe you pursue it and you say, sure, I'll spend a little bit of time looking at it. And then you progress to the next call and they're like, sounds like you're interested. You're like, yeah, you are, but you're just being kind of more polite than anything. And you're not ready to partner. It's just like any relationship. You're not ready to sign contracts on the second date. That comes later, maybe, if it ever comes, but they'll throw a contract on you and they'll say, okay, well, the next step before we get you an account, before we get you into a lunch and learn, before we get you anything, is to sign this agreement. And now you're looking at like a 10-page agreement and you're like, now you're asking me for a lot right now. I don't even really know if I want this partnership. All right, that's a big one. Another one is leading with the commission as the incentive and saying, hey, we've got a partner program and we pay 10% commission and our next best competitor only pays 5% commission, and you want to jump on a call and explore the partnership. You're like, okay, well, now you're kind of insulting me, assuming that 10% of whatever your customer value is going to be something I'm going to get super excited about. Number one. And number two, you're not really even qualifying us as a partnership yet. You're just wanting affiliates. And this probably isn't even someone that works for the company. It's probably some outsourced, affiliate lead gen type person. So I get those email back to me. We've got a sort of a document that has all these terrible emails. So the outreach, why am I reaching out to you, Rob, right now? What is it I want you to do? Right. And the recommendation is you lead with what the end goal of your outreach and what you want. You want Rob and his agency to be in the partner program, but you have to have something right now that's ephemeral, that you've hand selected Rob and his agency to be a part of, and be very explicit on what it is, why it's valuable for him. Make sure you are not asking him to jump through loops, pay for anything, sign any contracts. And a good example of that is co-marketing. So if I reached out to you, Rob, and my email was something like, hey, Rob, we're putting together a series on YouTube on our channel that's going to be focused on B2B SaaS organizations that are publishing on, or sorry, that are using HubSpot. And we'd love to be one of our featured experts. Come on and talk about a topic of your choice, as long as it's good and valuable for B2B SaaS companies that are on HubSpot. And it's going to be shared on our YouTube channel, which gets 10,000 views a month. And it's going to be in our newsletter, which has 4,000 subscribers. And it's going to be on posted on LinkedIn and X and whatever else. And you're going to be 1 to 10, and it's going to come out in a month. So we really need you to kind of tell us soon. And all I really need from you is to, spend a little bit of time thinking about the topic, email me back the topic, and then we'll get on a 30-minute call to record you talking about whatever that strategy is for B2B SaaS. Would you be interested in doing that? Oh, and by the way, just for taking the time, I'm going to gift you a free license to my software, which is $2,000 a year. I'm going to gift you that license for you and your agency to use. And this is what our software does. And here's a quick link if you're interested in that too. And that's it. Would you be interested in that? Would you reply to that type of an email?
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's a similar sort of concept as if you're selling to a customer, you're giving value before you're asking for time and effort in return. Yep.
Exactly. Give, then ask. 2 gives before you ask anything. So it's a jab, right hook, Gary Vaynerchuk strategy. You want to hit them with a couple of gifts and value. And that goes throughout the conversation, or throughout the life of the partnership. So your a partner manager, his name is Marco DePaulis. He recommends this. I think it's brilliant. It's like your partnership is like a bank account. And it actually may be Roddy White that said this, and I am blanking on who said it. One of those two said it. Your partnership is like a bank account, right? You need to deposit before you can make any withdrawals. If you just enter into a new banking relationship and you don't put any money in the bank account, you can't make any withdrawals, right? So I got to put money in before I can take money out. That's how partnerships work. Every single quarter when I email you, you're going to look at the signature, you're going to look at the name, and you're going to be like, Alex, what's the relationship status? Meaning, what has Alex done for me lately, which is going to determine whether or not you open that email and reply. And maybe that email is going to be one of those asks where I actually need you to do something. You're going to think, oh, well, Alex actually did that great article where he mentioned me, and, he sent me that deal last month, and, yeah, I kind of owe him. I really enjoy partnering with Alex. So yeah, I'm going to get on this. I'm going to open that. I'm going to get to it today or tomorrow. Right. But if I haven't, and my last 3 months, all I did was email you on the last Friday of the month and ask you for any new business that you have, you're going to be like, no, sorry, Alex, stop doing this. Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that's super powerful. Two really good tips there in terms of how to get those partnerships up and going and how to maintain that partnership relationship over time. So thank you so much for your time, Alex. Great chatting to you today.
Yeah, great chatting to you. And please post the link to our blog below that. Feel free to tag me and I'll share it and all that fun stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex.